All right, David, thank you for that. Westbrook's former teammate, Kevin Durant, also making news. No surprise there. KD scheduled to return tomorrow against the Pelicans after missing the last 19 games. ESPN Warriors reporter Chris Haynes joins us now from Oakland. So, Chris, it says here how many minutes he expected to play. All I really want to know is how will they integrate him into this game? How will they bring him back into this roster seamlessly?
Well, he's not going to come in as a six-man, I'll tell you that much. They're going to get him right back with that starting five and try to see if he can regain some form. And it's going to be interesting to see how long it's going to take him to get to that point. Now, the thing is, I would suspect, I haven't been told this, but I would suspect he will be on a minute restriction initially, but I would suspect that he probably get around 20 to 25 minutes initially, just to get this started off, just to see where he's at with his conditioning and where he's at with his timing. So these are all good things for the Warriors because they didn't know if he was going to be able to even come back during the regular season. So the fact that he has 3 games left to try to get some feeling before going into the postseason is all good news for this team.
All good news for this team because he is a pretty good player. Our last question is, they've talked about Steph Curry's role since KD has been gone. In fact, some have said that Steph seems a little more comfortable. He's the star of that team day in and day out since KD's absence. Is there any concern from what you're hearing in the locker room or maybe from the front office to the coaching staff about bringing those two back together but still keeping Steph integral, a part of the system?
Well, that's a good question, and there's no doubt about it. Stephen Curry went back to his usual role the last couple of years of being the focal guy. He kind of struggled early on in the season with KD arriving to the point where KD had to tell him, hey, Steph, be you, I'll be the one to adjust. Now there's going to be an adjustment phase again, but that's a good thing because they're getting KD back. But another part about this is the final 3 games of the season, Klay Thompson, Steph, and Draymond, they're anticipated to rest probably 2 of those 3 games. We don't know which games. We don't know how many exactly. And so it's going to be a struggle trying to not only get KD integrated with the team and the system, but to get him integrated with those other key players that he's going to be playing with when the postseason comes around. So it's a little bit of a struggle, but I'll tell you right now, Draymond Green said it all straight this week. He said, we don't need KD to come in and fit in. We need him to come in and show out and be himself. So I think that tells you where they expect KD to be and where they want him to be come postseason.
All right. Did you mention that 4-letter word, rest? But I'll leave it there right now. Chris Haynes, our Warriors reporter, giving us the latest from Oakland. We appreciate it. All right, so Izzy Gutierrez back with us on Coast to Coast, trying to make some sense of this all. So you hear Chris Haynes giving you the facts. I want to put some of this in context. But the chemistry on the team has always been the issue since KD has gotten hurt. Do you think that there's any level of concern, honestly, if you're looking at what they're trying to do with KD coming back?
No, for a couple reasons. The chemistry on this team was built, yes, with KD this year, but it's been developed over the last several years. And what the Warriors have been showing you since KD has been hurt, and especially over these last 13 games of their win streak, is that that chemistry is still there. That they had been, if it seemed in any way off during the season, it was because they were trying to integrate Kevin Durant, and you got to a point where they looked pretty smooth. Not entirely refined and the team that we expected them to be, but they were getting there with KD. Now, you've got a certain comfort level with Steph. I mean, over these last 6 games, you're talking about more than 31 points, 8.5 assists.
Yeah.
And so he's been great. And so to integrate Kevin Durant back in, when you have the minutes restriction that sort of limits you there, when you have that maybe 1 or 2 players might not be playing down the stretch because they've already locked up the #1 seed,
sure,
it really isn't about integrating him back into that system. It's just about getting his legs under him, and they do more of that integrating back in practices so that when the playoffs come, if he can play 30-plus minutes, he's ready to play his role again.
All right, so let me focus on what you just said there. It's not so much about integrating him. It's about getting his sea legs back,
at least initially.
Initially. Do you think, and I remember, I think it was Brad Doherty, he brought up the idea of him just coming off the bench during the playoffs and not necessarily playing. Let him rest. Do you believe mentally Kevin Durant will have any concern coming back?
No, I don't think mentally he'll have any concern. As long as his leg is strong, as long as he feels comfortable that there's nothing going on there, he's not compensating any other way. I think his game speaks for itself in terms of how he can fit in and how simple it can be sometimes. And, you know, when he's been playing his prettiest basketball of the year in the middle of the season, you ask him, and he just says, I'm just playing basketball, man. It's all coming natural to me. So if you're letting Steph Curry navigate or orchestrate the team a little bit more, if you're letting the roles, the players play their roles that they're used to, the Sean Livingston's, the Andre Iguodala's, that's why you don't bring Kevin Durant off the bench. You leave him as a starter, get everybody else remaining comfortable in their roles. If you do all that, Kevin can slide right in and find his way, especially knowing that he can't be intrusive. He can't be an interruption to this team, especially now. If this happened in February where he was coming back, yes, he could try to put the pedal to the metal and really get back faster. But now it's just like find your way through and help us where you need us the most.
I'm looking at their roster. They seem unbeatable. It's a foregone conclusion, at least to the experts that work at ESPN. Is there anybody you could see beating the Warriors?
I mean, I could envision the Spurs beating them.
Is it really happening?
No, and this is one of the things that's amazing to me about this injury. So we went into the injury thinking, oh no, this is the Warriors' biggest test. They might lose that #1 seed. No. They might empower Cleveland to, they're going to get Darren Williams and Andrew Bogut at the time and all these. And when Kevin Durant comes back, who knows when it's going to be, how good are they going to be? And then all of a sudden, during his absence, they've sort of stretched their lead, if you will. The Spurs didn't take that #1 seed. Cleveland has gone the other direction, and now they're the biggest favorites as they've been all year long.
Well, we need storylines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there are stories. That's how you pay the bills. No, there was that thought. We'll see. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you. More importantly, I'm looking forward to this velvet jacket you're wearing.
Are you?
Can you let me borrow that?
Of course.
No? Yeah.
I think we're the same size.
Yeah, possibly. Izzy Gutierrez. And they point to you. Yes, the velvet. Is that velvet?
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty, the velvet.